And good afternoon, everybody. John Henderson Pierre again, Beer and TV Ramble, looking at Red Stripe, making style lager. Long day. I bought a pint glass at the store on my way home from work. Paid more than what I needed to, but I think it's about this was at a package store, and I doubted the other stores would have had this. Maybe they did, but $3.19 for this pint glass plus tax, so it came up to about three something and change, almost $4. But oh well, you only live once, right? 4.7% ABV by volume, produced in 1938 by the bottled by Red Star Company, Latrobe, PA, but they're part of the Guinness family. Um, the Cotter family producers came out in 1938. They put out this beer. Um, see, the Dinos and Geddes Limited was purchased by Guinness Brewing Worldwide. Now, Diageo, an acquisition that will significantly increase international distribution of Red Stripe. But anyhow, Guinness, make a long story short, Guinness is part of the some of the Guinness family of with all their other beers. So if you watch um, from time to time, I know for a couple of years when I had cable, I'd watch the afternoon shows, ESPN, Guinness, and Red Stripe were all part of the same umbrella. They would do a lot. They would be the main sponsors, and they would do the same do commercials run during their show. Um, anyway, um, of course, the advertising of this beer, you probably may know the ambassador became very popular when it was introduced in 1985, imported in 1985. Sales were not great, but slowly within into the 90s and early 2000s, sales began to get a lot better of this beer. So of course, the clever advertising, some of the advertising that was helpful. One particularly, of course, was the character, the ambassador, if you will, the Jamaican ambassador, and he would do these silly, sort of odd commercials. Where he'd be talking to people, dancing. That island vibe. Down from Jamaica. The nice suit and everything. It was silly, but oh well. Um, so sales have been pretty good now. Um, has a standard lager smell to it. Um, a lot of corn, barley, some hops in this beer. Um, the style, I guess the island style, if you will, but another beer that I've had before that's pretty good. Probably heard of a Carib beer, and that's another beer that's a Caribbean beer, Carib. I didn't, hyphen for Caribbean beer, but Carib beer. I believe might be under the same ownership of with Guinness and as well as Red Stripe, but um, 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 the beer doesn't give it much. Has very little. Has it? They have that uniqueness about it that is kind of hard to match. Um, they have that sort of that flavor. I mean, Carib beer and Prestige is also kind of that same beer too, which is under the Heineken International umbrella. Um, so um, it has that. Excuse me. Has that sort of unique flavor that is like makes it feel like this is an album, but completely different than some of the other lagers here made here in the states. And this, I don't know whether it's the malts or they use or the hops they use in this beer is giving it a very good flavor to me. Um, I've had this before, and You know, it's quite good actually. I haven't had the light version, but I've always bought this. You know, probably the light version probably be a little, you know, bit watery, but you know, this 4.7%, you know, same as your other lagers, whether it be Boston Lager or you know, Bud is at 5. So it just has a Christmas. I've had this in the freezer for a while. This is really good. I'm probably gonna get take this when I go over there watching some games. I'm watching here. I'm watching Alabama, Texas A&M, and I got the Michigan State game on online, which I want to get back to is at halftime of that one. So old school, rough football from back in the day. Michigan State rivalry there. But anyhow, back to the beer. Very carbonated. We did a review of this beer, me and Ronald J. Terrio and a lot of his, a lot of our crew. We do beer reviews on Wednesday nights, and we did a review, I presume, of Red Stripe. And you know, this is a very, very good, excellent beer. It doesn't have, it's not bad. It's not, you know, it's not over. It's not your like I said, not your ever typical lager. They're made here, and I think what I also like about this beer is that it's not trying to. It's brewed still brewed in Jamaica, which is I think a lot of these foreign beers, Caribbeer is another one, Prestige, is that while they want to make sure that the beer, even though these companies have take over ownership, we're certain we're going to make sure those beers stayed in the countries where they're being produced and made, and we're not going to try to uproot it. I know a lot of these countries there. I mean, that's usually the bread and butter of the community in terms of jobs, you know, and employment, and you know, and once these companies go or shut down or uproot another facility, you know, things kind of go by the wayside. But this beer has remained to be brewed in Jamaica, which is a great thing. And when if you're going down there, if and definitely I've been on cruise ships, I've seen, you know, this beer is like kind of how people look at Budweiser. Just it's everywhere, just constant. So um, let's see this one. To the U.S. City Brewing, across Wisconsin. Well, also, but also have bottles. They bottle the beer, um, or the supply of here for us here in the states. They have it all over Latrobe. I mentioned Pennsylvania, um, a few other spots, but they again still under the Guinness umbrella. Um, what can I say about this lager? I think it's really good. I just had a steak just now with some potatoes and a nice little salad, with broccoli and tomato salad. I think this goes pairs well with it. It goes pairs well with a nice, you know, say fried plantain and which I love, fried plantain and guyo, you know, or a nice, you know, fried fish, or whether it be flounder or tilapia, whatever you want, you know. You know, this beer is excellent to go with those flavors. So you see the DG, of course, the company, the nurse, if I'm pronouncing correctly, Desnotes and Geddes, and very popular in Canada, very popular in a lot of these areas where there are a lot of Caribbean folks living. You know, my neck of the woods up in the Northeast, particularly, you know, Boston, you know, the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, tri-state area, Pennsylvania, Philly. If you go down to, of course, Miami, obviously, you know, several of us are down there, South Florida, Canada, up in Toronto. You go to Ottawa, you know, Toronto, Ottawa, places like that. You know, it's big there, and people just love the beer, and I do too. I mean, it's just a very excellent, well made beer. So I'm giving this a solid 10 for me for Red Stripe. Um, what can I say about it? It's not. It's really good, a really good lager, and foreign lager, but they would pull this a American adjunct, but it's you know foreign adjunct lager, I guess I'll call it. But any event, give me your thoughts about how you feel about Red Stripe. If you like it, you don't like it, you feel there are other lagers better than this, leave your comments on the bottom and tell me what you think. I'm John Anderson Pierre, the Beer and TV Ramble, telling you keep watching, and as always, cheers.